today, but we're going to be patronizing about it, not because I think you guys would come, because I think everyone can't get around this enough. I think a lot of scientists would agree our greatest hope for achieving really meaningful therapy, because in Huntington's we have this very clear enemy, right? As I said, these other diseases, even other brain diseases, it's not always clear what's the bad guy. In Huntington's, mutant Huntington's is the bad guy. The mutant gene causes Huntington's in everyone. And it ends up making this protein, the Huntington protein, and we'll primer coming up in a second. And that is different than the wild type Huntington protein. And it clumps up and makes these aggregates. We don't know if that's the problem or not, but there's a very clear change in the way that this protein acts. So this clumped up protein, this protein that's not doing its normal job, acts as a spanner in the works, flying the ointment. It screws up things in brain cells. But we know the actual...
I need to stop you there because I have an important anecdote, which is that I gave this talk, or similar talk to this in Germany, and I showed this slide, and they all chuckled. I said, why are you laughing at that? I said, in Germany, we do not say spanner at work. We say a grain of sand in the machine. Because German engineering is so finely tuned and precise that all it takes is one grain of sand. You may continue.
Sorry, thanks for that interlude. I was talking about mutant Huntington, bad news, right? So we have this, it's a bad problem, but it's a good problem because we know exactly what we need to do in theory to fix all of the other problems that happen in Huntington's disease brain. So here's the primer I promised. So in purple is a cell, all the cells of your brain, or anywhere in your body really, have a nucleus in blue, and that's where your DNA is kept, right? It's the storehouse of the cell, where you keep your really important DNA and keep it safe. And that's where the mutation is that people inherit from mom or dad when they develop Huntington's disease. So the mutation happens in the Huntington gene, which is in the DNA. But by itself, we don't think that having a mutant gene is toxic. We don't think it's bad for cells. We think that, in fact, the gene has to do what genes normally do, which is to get turned into a protein. So this is this white and red and blue shape here. Complicated shape machines that do all the important stuff in the cell. And in between step is that the cell goes into the nucleus and it needs some more of the Huntington protein, reads the DNA, the information that's stored there in that gene, and makes a copy of it. So it can save the important DNA in the nucleus and takes that copy out of the nucleus into the rest of the cell, in part we call the cytoplasm. And that message there in the purple stick, the messenger that carries the genetic information from the nucleus out to the cell where the protein can be made is called the messenger RNA. RNA is a chemical cousin of DNA. So the idea of gene silencing is that we have this drug that can come in and block this message in various ways and stop the message that's in the genetic mutation in the gene from getting translated into the protein, which is where we think it really does its damage. So if we block this message from being made, we can stop the genetic information in the gene from being made into a protein that actually causes all this damage. So in theory, this would enable us to develop drugs that would enable us to switch off specific genes, like the Huntington gene, for example.
So gene silencing has been tested now many times in lots of different animal models of Huntington's disease. And without editing any missteps out, I think it's fairly safe to say that pretty much every time it's been tested, it's done what it's supposed to do, and it has shown itself to be effective. So you can take pretty much any animal model of Huntington's disease that produces that mutant protein, give it a gene silencing drug, deliver it appropriately, and as Neil has mentioned, there are issues around delivery, which we'll come back to. And very often those animals actually get better, like when the gene is switched off with that genetic trick. But this is switching it off with a drug that could be given to humans. That was first achieved in 2005, and since then, huge progress has been made. So these are some scientific papers reporting on some of the important steps that are necessary to take that drug from mice into humans, testing in large brain animals like monkeys, and showing that those monkeys didn't die, their brains did not explode.
I have an interlude.
Say again?
I noticed that you highlighted your own research when you wrote yours, but there's a person who, a really important paper that was missing from that stack.
Yeah, look at that.
First author was something named Carol or something. Anyway, we're both biased. So it takes a lot of approaches, it takes a lot of labs. As Neil said, there's all these different silencing approaches. approaches. And it takes different levels of expertise. It takes people like me who know how to play around mice, people like Ed who know how to play around patients without hurting them, companies that actually know how to fund and develop drugs and get trials run. It takes a lot of effort at a lot of different levels, and all of that effort has been happening. It may not be obvious to everyone, but a lot is happening in a lot of different places around the world.
And the race is on, basically, to bring these drugs into humans, which is why we want to focus briefly on one trial which is going to be starting soon. If you look in your programs at 4:15 this afternoon, you'll see that there's a research session that Frank Bennett from ISIS Pharmaceuticals is running. If you can, I would urge you to attend that session because ISIS is very close to bringing this drug to humans. I know what you're thinking, it's not a good time to be called ISIS. Let's just say that. They're hoping to reclaim the brand for the good guys. ISIS was a goddess, Egyptian goddess of healing. And so it's a good name for a pharmaceutical company. It's not a good name for a terrorist organization. They should change the name. I have a number of recommendations, but one of them is that they need to change the name.
Earlier she was like, they really need to change the name. She just freaks out.
Founded in 1989, so ISIS has been in the business a long time. Actually, I asked Roby from CHDI what year they started to collaborate with ISIS, and then I didn't change the slide. It was actually 2006 that CHDI started their collaboration with ISIS Pharmaceuticals. In 2013, drug giant Roche, one of the world's biggest pharmaceutical companies, pledged $360 million to pharmaceuticals, Huntington's disease drug development program. So that's a lot of money by anyone's reckoning. That is certainly enough money if the drug works to get it licensed. In 2014, UCL, my employer, became involved when at the conference I mentioned in Barcelona, my mentor and friend Sarah Tabrizi announced that she was going to be the global chief investigator, clinical investigator for the planned gene silencing trial run by ISIS Pharmaceuticals. So it's going to be have some timelines for you. This is the name of the trial, 443139-CS1. Again, if it works, the drug will get a better name. 2015 is the year and the month that the first patient will receive a dose of this drug is July.
Woohoo!
Which almost seems quite soon. So this is very different from 5 years, right? However, a number of important caveats which I will come to. So the drug does have a nickname, HTTRX. It is what is known as an antisense oligonucleotide. That means a single strand of chemically altered DNA, and it does what Jeff has described. It sticks to the Huntington message and switches off the protein. When this is tested in animal models, it produces roughly a 50% reduction in the amount of the protein in the surface of the brain cortex. It's been tested in monkeys at much higher doses than would ever be given to humans, and there were no toxic effects to the drug. So that's good. In the monkey brain and in the brain and nervous system of large animals like pigs, the drug lasts about 3 to 4 weeks. However, interestingly, the effects of the drug outlast the presence of the drug. And this comes back to this golden window of opportunity and the idea that the brain cells are unhappy, but they want to recover. It seems that in the animal models at least, the brain cells do recover. All they need is a little bit of time without the drug, without the mutant protein on board, with less mutant protein to deal with, and they can actually claw back some of the time that they lost when the mutant protein was wreaking its effects. And the clinical benefit may last even longer than the reduction in protein. And this gives rise to the idea of a Huntington holiday, which I think is a really lovely idea. The idea that you get this injection and it lasts several weeks, but you give your brain cells a Huntington holiday, and they come back from it refreshed and invigorated. I think that's a lovely thing to be hoping to give people. So, a couple of downsides. This drug would not work as a pill. If you took it as a pill, it would be dissolved by the acid in your stomach. Even as an injection, it wouldn't get into the brain. And Neil talked about some of the problems getting drugs into the brain from an injection. So the way that we can run this trial now is to think about the spinal fluid, the cerebrospinal fluid, which is this clear fluid. It's red on the diagram, but it's clear in real life. It looks like gin. So this is fluid that's produced by the brain, and it surrounds the brain and spinal cord.
Like not every clear fluid is gin.
Yeah, I certainly can't think of another clear fluid. It's a very common fluid that looks like gin. Very routinely in neurology, we can stick needles, small, almost painless needles, into the base of the spine and collect this fluid, and that's known as a spinal tap. We also call it blood puncture. It's very commonly done. I've had 2 and they were fine. It honestly hurt less than having a dental anesthetic. So it's very well tolerated. This, you might want to close your eyes if you're a bit squeamish. So this is from the film Theory of Everything about Stephen Hawking and Eddie Redmayne, who went to Cambridge and also studied motor neuron disease at the hospital where I worked in order to prepare for his role in the film. Halfway through the film, he has a lumbar puncture. So this is actor Eddie Redmayne simulating a lumbar puncture. Tiny needle, gently going in, didn't feel a thing. And then you take out the thing from the middle of the needle, and it's usually quicker than this. This guy's very slow, and the fluid drips out. So that's Eddie Redmayne having a lumbar puncture. He can do it, and I can do it, and so can you. This is me. This is a very rare sight. This is a neurologist wearing scrubs. This hardly ever happens. This was me in November. I had to go to the teenage cancer unit at our sister hospital in central London and be trained in how to inject drugs into the spinal fluid, because that's how a number of cancer drugs are given. So this thumb now knows how to do that. And hopefully this thumb will be one of the thumbs given the best injection.
I hope somebody got a picture of you standing in front of a picture of yourself. Somebody snap that, please, and post it.
So, pause for a moment. This drug has never been given to human beings before, though it's a first-in-human trial. And this is Yuri Gagarin, first man in space. And that's kind of what the people who volunteer for this trial will be. They are taking a risk, an undeniable risk, that we don't know what the effects of this drug are on the human brain. It's as safe as it can be, but we don't know it's safe. And people like Yuri Gagarin took a risk for humanity on behalf of other people, and that's what this trial is about.
So you might say, well, that sounds pretty scary, but we have good reason to believe that ISIS knows what they're doing in this regard. Huntington's disease is not the first neurological disease they've worked on. They've had a number of successful clinical trials on other neurological diseases, including an horrible disease called spinal muscular atrophy. And the worst of the kids who have this disease seem normal, start to meet milestones developmentally, and then start regressing. And in fact, in the worst form of the disease, die at a very young age from not being able to breathe. The problem is in the brain, and ISIS has a drug which is not the same as the Huntington's drug, obviously, but chemically very similar. And it has to be delivered in the same way, but again, it has to get into the brain. And so they've delivered this to kids with spinal muscular atrophy. Over 100 kids have been dosed with the drug. This particular spinal muscular atrophy drug has been safe. They haven't had adverse events that they would have to report if there was. And this is a hard disease. Kids are dying. This is a terrible disease. And you almost never see improvement in the kids that have been dosed so far. Actually, there's been some really exciting signs of clinical improvement. And in fact, there was a press release from ISIS just very recently, last month, saying that in fact they've now increased the survival of these kids, which as far as I know, it's never been done in SMA before. So the point is, we're not SMA, it's a different drug, but ISIS has experience in very complicated situations with very similar drugs. This is a really, really exciting opportunity for the community.
So there are 3 priorities for this first gene silencing trial: safety, and safety, predictably enough. We will also be looking for biomarkers of whether the drug is working. So that's the main purpose of the trial is to see whether the drug is safe. But we will also be collecting spinal fluid and measuring the amount of protein in there to see whether the drug has had a desired effect. And a number of safety markers will be tested as well. 36 to 48 people will be involved in this trial. So this is a very small trial. The patients will have early symptoms of Huntington's disease so that we'll be able to tell whether they're getting worse if the drug is getting better is not the purpose of the trial. It's being run, the lead clinical site is UCL in London. The other sites, of which there will be 5, will be in Canada and Europe. And don't be sad about that, because there will be other trials hot on the heels of this one. So I'd be happy either way, to be honest. We all thought the trial was going to start in America a couple of years ago, and I was happy with that. I was happy for you guys to test it on our behalf. Make sure it's safe for Europeans to take it. Turns out it's going to be the other way around, and I'm very happy about that as well. We are happy to test the drug for you guys, and then the bigger trials, it may well involve sites in the USA. Their approvals are all going through, many of them are in place, and so the trial is ready to begin. So from the point of view of people taking part, each person will be involved in that trial for 7 to 8 months. They will have 4 injections of the drug. Intrathecal means into the spinal fluid, the base of the spine. Injections every 4 weeks. And several different doses will be tested. So we'll start at the lowest dose, gradually work up to higher doses. Lots of assessment. So these people are going to be busy. They spend multiple nights in hospital being observed. They'll have MRI scans, EEGs, blood tests, and so on. From start to finish, the trial is expected to last roughly 2 years. So starting next month, and it'll probably run to the latter half of 2017. It may stop early if there's a sign that the drug is dangerous. Broadly speaking, with these trials, no news is good news. And as I say, there will be a number of interim analyses planned to see whether there is a safety concern, or indeed whether the drug is doing unexpectedly well.
So one thing people often ask us is this the trial that's going to get this drug approved? And remember, it's called steps. I think the answer is no. No matter what happens, even if the drug is safe, we have to stress test in a bigger cohort of people, a bigger group of people to figure out if it's effective. As Ed said, the priorities of the goals of the so-called phase 1 study, this kind of study, is just to see if the drug is safe. And of course, we're also going to look and see if it helps symptoms, and maybe it will, but it's not properly powered for that. So even in the best case scenario, this is not the last trial. So people need to set themselves up for realizing that this is the first step on a path, but it's a step that's being aggressively pursued by everybody involved. So we have to run bigger trials to get the drug licensed. Initially, as Ed said, the trials being done on people with early Huntington's for good reason, but on people with later stage sort of health too, as we all, I think, believe. And so you'd ultimately like to test this in people with more advanced disease.
Yeah, the graphics.
That's very informative. So we want to test it, yes, in people who have later disease, and ultimately, on all of us, me included, the mutation carriers would like to have drugs that would not just cure Huntington's disease, but stop us from getting it. And so you can imagine trials in the future, if this works in early HD and it works in later HD, with doing this in decreasing genetic people, which I would sign up for personally. As technology improves, hopefully as this goes on, maybe technology and delivery will get better. Some of the things Neil talked about might come to the clinic. And in fact, as Neil said, there's different methods for doing this gene silencing. And maybe along the way we'll learn that one of them works better. And that would be great if it works better.
We have to have the background again. Okay. So one thing that to think about, which is also moving towards clinical trials, as in the company behind it, Shire and Sangamo, and Neil mentioned this as well, are thinking about how to take that drug to a trial. Is this idea of zinc finger gene silencing. So zinc fingers are these proteins that contain zinc, which will stick to your DNA. So remember the ASO drug that's in the first trial, it's going to stick to the RNA. Zinc fingers stick to the DNA. They don't look like a robot finger. This is purely for illustrative purposes. So they stick to the DNA, and then they reach back and switch off the Huntington gene. And so they stop the first step in the process rather than the second step. So the mRNA, the message molecule, is not produced as much, and the protein is not produced as much. And one of the cool things about this zinc finger approach is that it can be used to selectively reduce the levels of the mutant protein while leaving the normal, healthy protein relatively untouched. The human trial that we are starting next month actually lowers both proteins by about 50%. We think that's safe. We are about to find out. The zinc finger only switches off the mutant protein, and on the face of it, it's a more difficult thing to do, but on the face of it, it's a cleaner approach to the problem. So that zinc finger drug may be in trials in the next few years, and they're certainly thinking hard about how to run those trials. So what has this got to do with the bus?
We promised some discussion about that. I know you're all really excited about. So, we get a lot of feedback at HD Buzz, and Ed and I got a comment once that struck us, and we had written about some basic science and advancing more on the slides, right? We love that stuff, because that's the next generation of therapeutic trials, right? I mean, yes, we want trials now, but we also have to refill that pipeline with new discoveries. Like Marcy talked about. This person was disappointed that we had covered such basic science and said, let me know when they find the cure. As in, call when you have a cure, don't bother me until then. I don't know why they were on our website, frankly, but anyway, they were unhappy with, I think, the pace of research. And I think this person is sort of like this girl here sitting and waiting for the bus. It's always they. Let me know when they find the cure. I don't know who they is us. You guys. It's scientists working together with clinicians, working together, most importantly, with community members. And if all of those things don't work together, clinical trials don't happen, and we don't develop therapies for Huntington's disease. We can't sit and passively wait. In fact, this is what our title is supposed to be. Get behind the bus. On the bus is the wrong place to be. Get behind the bus and push, because all of us need to be involved. And I know it can feel sometimes like whatever your personal ability is small. I'll tell you again a personal story. I was really sure when I first started working on these that I was going to go into a lab and show everybody and my personal connection would motivate everyone. And in fact, I got there and I got motivated by people. Scientists are working really hard, and every one of them, no matter how big they are, can only do a tiny piece of the puzzle. So in my own lab, I take a strange little piece of the puzzle to work on. I'm only putting one hand in the back of the bus with everybody else, and I'm okay with that, because I think that's what everyone's doing. And it involves all of you. Everyone in this room can do some part of the pushing of this bus.
I would now like to embark on ill-advised sports metaphor.
You're very sporty.
Look at me. So to me, this is an American football team, but I think you guys would probably call it a football team. I believe it is the Dallas Cowboys. This team is huge. There's like 100 players on this team. And from that 100, as I understand it, at any one time during an American football match, only 11 players can be on the pitch, right? But I think that's correct. So, when one of those 11 players from this huge squad scores a goal, everybody celebrates. The goal belongs to everyone. It's called a goal, right?
Yes.
Okay. Touchdown! It's a touchdown! It's not a goal! Touchdown! Okay.
Maybe we should do sports.
This is not happening. This is genuinely my level of understanding. I know science more than I know sports. I don't even call it sports, it's just sport. So, this is how Huntington's disease research needs to be. I'll tell you a real life story. In our clinic in London, we have a research database of patients who want to take part in trials, and about 750 patients on that database, and it's one of the largest in Europe. And we're running this Legato study, the TETH trial. And a couple of days ago, I got an email from the study team saying Tuesday's screening assessment has been cancelled because we haven't been able to find anyone to fill that slot. From 750 people, we couldn't find one person who was suitable for the trial and available on the day when we had that plan. Now it's fine, because we will move the slots, we'll find someone, we will get the trial recruited. We are, for any Tether people in the audience, one of the fastest recruiting sites in the world. So we're really good at this stuff, but it's the kind of problem that happens. The bigger the squad is, the greater the chance that every slot will be filled first time around, and the trial will be run as efficiently and as quickly as it can. So that not being able to fill that one slot delays in London's site